So now that you are aware of the dangers of steroid use, I will now tell you how you can get involved and help stop the epidemic of steroid usage in high school. We can start reducing the amount of steroid users in high school by creating and funding education programs, such as Atlas and Athena programs on the dangers of steroid use. The Anabolic Steroid Prevention for Teen Athletes program, known as Atlas, is a program that provides male high school athletes steroid users with peer counseling, factual information, and healthy alternatives. In the Atlas and Athena programs, the Athena is for the girls, coaches and sports team leaders discuss the potential effects of anabolic steroids and other illicit drugs on immediate sports performance, and they teach how to refuse offers of drugs. They also discuss how strength training and proper nutrition can help adolescents build their bodies without the use of steroids. A lot of times kids will work out and they don't understand why they're not getting bigger, and a lot of times it's because they're not working out the right way, or they don't know the proper program to get on to get bigger. And a lot of times they don't know nutritionally what to do. Like, for a common example, a lot of people only eat 3 meals a day, but if you're trying to get bigger and more muscular, it's common knowledge among like weightlifters that 5 meals a day will actually help you get bigger faster. Also, another way to stop the use of steroids among high school student athletes is through drug testing. According to a U.S. national poll released by the Sacred Heart University Polling Institute, a large majority of Americans surveyed, 87.3%, suggested they strongly supported or somewhat supported random testing of high school athletes for steroid use. 3 states, New Jersey, Florida, and Texas, already have passed legislation mandating testing of scholastic athletes. Some schools, districts in Nevada and California have had some form of testing for several years, and legislation is pending in other states to force drug testing. And then the actions that we can take. First, adults should begin advocating for strong education and prevention policies in schools. Sometimes ignorance is the only reason that students use steroids, because they just don't know any better. Parents should support efforts to bring qualified professionals to their communities and schools to present education workshops on steroids. Parents should become familiar with the major warning signs of anabolic steroid use. A lot of times, parents will have kids that work out all the time and they think they're just working out, but they don't realize the signs that their kids are using steroids, and if they're aware, maybe they'll be able to stop him before it's too late and gets addicted to steroids. Parents especially should be aware of the legal consequences of steroid possession. Steroids are illegal, just like other drugs like cocaine or marijuana. Steroids are illegal, and if you do get caught using them, or if you get caught dealing them, you can go to jail. Encourage hard work, good nutrition and hydration, proper rest, and good coaching as the tools of performance enhancement, rather than injections, pills, powders, and other dietary supplements. Sometimes the old and tried ways of using of just working out stuff is actually better than using new stuff like steroids. So in review, the use of steroids and other hormone-altering drugs in high school students is a growing problem. Second, steroids can negatively affect the human body and have even worse side effects in young people whose bodies are still developing. And then third, there are actions we can take to get steroids out of the hands of our high schoolers. So many of America's growing teenagers feel they must take illegal drugs to get a physical advantage, altering the hormonal makeup inside their bodies unnaturally while they are still growing. This epidemic among our youth needs to stop, and it's up to you to put a stop to steroids. So at this point, I would like to open up our speech to the Q&A part. Is there any questions?
Are steroids addictive?
Yes, actually, they can be addictive, just like many other drugs. And with addicting drugs, when you stop, you can have withdrawal symptoms. Withdrawal symptoms would include depression with suicidal thoughts, and mood swings, and aggressive behavior. A lot of times, you'll hear horror stories of people who've taken steroids and have quit, and they had withdrawal symptoms, and they couldn't handle it, and they just got so depressed that they committed suicide. Or a lot of times you'll hear of older guys, maybe married with children, who could not control their anger and would actually kill like their spouse or their children and then take their own lives.
You said earlier that taking steroids can cause you to contract HIV. How is that possible?
Well, because it's such an uncensored way of doing things, a lot of kids will be injecting themselves with steroids and then not sterilizing their needles, and then they'll pass it along, and maybe the next person will take it, and whatever diseases they might have gotten, they can pass it on to the next person.
How do teens obtain steroids in the first place?
Well, there's many ways you can actually get steroids. Steroid is not illegal in every country, so like you can actually buy them online and have them sent over. And a lot of adults can actually get steroids because as you get older, your body naturally decreases the amount of testosterone in its body, and you can actually get legally prescribed testosterone injections. And so if they don't want to use those, what they can do is they can deal them just like drugs under the market to our kids and make money off of it.
If steroids are illegal, why do teens risk taking them?
Many teens only think about like the positive consequences or the consequences that occur now, and since steroids, sometimes the effects take 10, 20, 30 years from now, and they're not thinking about their futures, they're thinking of the current things. And if they have really low self-esteem, or if they want to get into college right now to get a scholarship, they'll do what they want to do no matter what it is. If it's underage drinking or doing drugs, whatever it is, they're not thinking about the consequences later, they're thinking about the here and now and only the positive things.